Right now on News 12, we've got a gorgeous Sunday for you. Outside of our Bethpage studios, we're taking a live look at North Main Street over Sag Harbor, where Long Islanders are hitting the streets. And stepping outside our Bethpage studios, take a look. Today is shaping up to be a gorgeous day, even on the beach. A look from our East End, Atlantic Avenue Beach, Amagansett Rogers Beach, West Hampton, and Sag Main Beach in Sagaponack, and Main Beach in East Hampton. All looks so beautiful. And this afternoon, we're taking a live look at a Riverhead roof camera. It's a gorgeous day out there with noticeably less humidity and thin clouds, but that great weather can't last all week. 80 degrees is the high. Your full hyperlocal forecast and a stretch out to the 10-day is coming up in just a couple of minutes. Well, Lake Ronkonkoma man is now accused of stealing a car, assaulting a police officer, and attempting to steal a marked police vehicle. News 12's Virginia Huey has the latest details on the arrest.
William Gilmartin was arrested near his house here in Lake Ronkonkoma after he allegedly stole a car, assaulted a police officer, and tried to steal a marked police vehicle. This is Gilmartin on his way to arraignment this morning. Police say Gilmartin committed the crimes yesterday morning at around 7:30 a.m. We're told the victim was driving on School Street in Ronkonkoma when Gilmartin allegedly jumped on the hood. Cops say the two got into an argument and the driver got out of his car. Cops say when they caught up with Gilmartin at his house, he resisted arrest, punched an officer in the face, and ran off. Gilmartin then allegedly attempted to steal a marked police patrol vehicle when another officer opened the door and tased Gilmartin. Neighbors can't believe it.
I'm shocked. He always just says hello, goes on around. I don't know him at all, at all, but he's always seemed very friendly. So I'm shocked.
We're told the officer and driver were treated for non-life-threatening injuries. As for Gilmartin, he will be arraigned today on several charges, including robbery, grand larceny, assault of a police officer, and resisting arrest. In Lake Ronkonkoma, Virginia Huey, News 12, Long Island.
And right now we've got some breaking updates to bring you on police activity in Shirley Beach. At this hour, we know that a body has been found in the water. Suffolk police tell us the victim appears to be a black woman in her 20s. They say she was discovered in the water with no obvious signs of trauma and no identification just yet. A neighbor tells News 12 he spotted the body on his morning walk.
Figured we'd go for a walk on the beach, and I got down onto the beach and I saw something in the water, which at first I thought was rocks, but then I realized over here we don't have large rocks that you'd see in the water, so I took a few more steps and then I saw what looked like a body, took a few more steps towards it and realized it was. So it was laying on its stomach.
Officers did share that at this time there are no obvious links to the victim and any reported missing persons. This scene is still very active, and of course we will provide more information as soon as we learn more details. We turn now to the latest on the Gilgo Beach murders. This weekend, we are learning about possible ties between the murders and cold cases in 3 other states, including New Jersey. We also heard from suspect Rex Heuermann's wife for the first time. His wife and the rest of the accused killer's family returned to their Massapequa Park home on Thursday and reacted to the conditions at her home. Asa Ellerup did not say much to the press, but did give the okay to take photos and video of her family. Heuermann has pleaded not guilty to all charges against him. As for Ellerup, she released this statement where she asked for her neighbors and family's privacy, saying in part, quote, "I am pleading with you all to give us space so that we may regain some normalcy in our neighborhood." This afternoon, another sinkhole to tell you about on our South Shore. Drivers are advised to steer clear from Foxhurst Road. The street is closed in both directions between Oceanside Road and Locust Avenue due to a sinkhole. As of now, we have no other information on the sinkhole, but it comes just a week after crews sealed up a sinkhole on Grand Avenue, which is less than a 10-minute drive from the newly opened sinkhole. And staying on our South Shore, Nassau County is issuing an advisory against bathing on 4 beaches in the area. The beaches are closed due to some heavy rains yesterday, causing elevated bacteria levels. Biltmore Beach Club in Massapequa, Hewlett Point Beach in East Rockaway, Island Park Beach in Island Park, and Philip Healy Beach in Massapequa. They're all closed with an advisory set to lift hopefully by tomorrow morning. Well, this afternoon, a pedestrian is fighting for his life after police say he was hit by a car in Central Islip. Officers say it happened on West Suffolk Avenue just before 9 last night. We're told an adult man was hit after walking in the roadway by a westbound driving vehicle. The driver was not injured in the crash, although detectives are asking anyone with information on this crash to please contact them. Well, Montauk native Chase Leader has already won 4 national titles, and now this young surfing sensation has his eyes set on a bigger prize. The East Ender is beginning his quest for something even bigger, a world title. Chase is one of just 2 surfers in the entire country to earn a spot on Team USA for the World Surfing Games. Chase says his support system is everything to him.
I'm super proud of him. I honestly, I have more fun watching him surf than actually surfing myself.
There's just no other way I could have grown up, you know. I couldn't imagine any other way I'd be.
Chase tells us he also has his eyes on the Olympics either next year or in 2028. Surfing became an Olympic sport at the 2020 Summer Games. Good luck, Chase. Well, student athletes in Suffolk could be dealing with a delay of games this fall. Sports like soccer and football could be called off due to a labor dispute between the state's School Athletic Association and its referees. This after a proposed contract between Section X11 and its refs for the upcoming season was rejected by the President's Council of Suffolk County officials on Monday. The rejected contract means all fall high school sports in Suffolk may be delayed, jeopardizing student athletes' chances of competing at the state level.
It's heartbreaking for all of the work they've already put in, especially our seniors, who this could be their last opportunity to compete in a state championship.
And both sides are back at the negotiating table to try to hammer out a new contract before the season starts at the end of August. Well, you may know him as Barney Stinson, or you might recognize him as Doogie Howser. But today, if you see Neil Patrick Harris, you could just call him your bartender. The multi-time Emmy Award winner will be serving up drinks today at Sunset Harbor in East Hampton. It's all part of a special promotion with a company that makes ready-to-drink cocktails. Harris will be mixing up an espresso martini, that sounds good, known as the After Hours. He'll be behind the bar between 5:30 and 6:30 p.m. All right, time now for another check of your hyperlocal weather forecast.
And it's a nice one. We have absolutely gorgeous views out there, including in Rosalia's Ronkonkoma yard. These are hardy hibiscus, which means they come back up every single year, and they are in full bloom right now, enjoying the ample sunshine we have out there today and the lower humidity. Those plants actually like high humidity too. But personally, I like the lower humidity. Today is spectacular. Light breeze out there, dew points in the 50s, temperatures in the 70s. Here's the deal. I actually dug into the record books in Islip. This has been our driest day since late June. About 5 weeks, we have had more humidity than what you're stepping out to this afternoon. So enjoy it, savor it. It is not like this often in the middle of summertime. We're close to 80, but not quite making it across most of the island. So it's basically room temperature, sit in some shade, enjoy dinner outside. It looks spectacular. Smithtown, you're at 78 in Medford at 6 p.m. A little bit of cloud cover. It's not totally sunny today. It'll be nice and cool for your Monday morning, and Monday afternoon, a touch warmer. We're all back in the 80s on Monday. There's a slightly more humidity, so there is a chance for a stray shower toward Nassau County around the evening commute, and then pushing through Suffolk County as you head to bed. So an opportunity for a quick shower Monday can't be totally ruled out. but most of us will stay dry, and there's just not enough heating in the atmosphere to really bring any thunderstorm growth. Tuesday looks pretty similar. We're close to 80. Humidity, again, on the low side. Basically a rinse and repeat for the start of August. But how long does it last? Well, you know, that humidity does come back eventually. It looks like Friday, Saturday, even maybe Sunday we'll be dodging a few pop-up storms. You're watching News 12.
Right now, officers say a pedestrian is recovering from serious injuries after a crash in Brentwood. Police say it happened on Suffolk Avenue just east of Wicks Road. Officers tell us 50-year-old Daniel Vargas was walking around 9:30 last night into the roadway when he was hit by an eastbound car. The driver was not injured. Detectives are urging anyone with information to give them a call. And another pedestrian crash to tell you about, this one on our East End. Officers say it happened just past midnight on Quogue Street near the intersection of Quago Neck Lane. We're told 29-year-old Bianca Spano of Quogue was driving eastbound when she hit a pedestrian, causing serious injuries. Spano is charged with driving drunk and vehicular assault and faces a judge today. Well, two well-known local groups are flexing their power to feed Long Islanders this summer. Island Harvest and PSEG Long Island now hosting their third collaborative food drive. This one was in Carle Place. The goal of their Power to Feed initiative is to collect 50,000 meals this summer. If you would like to help your fellow Long Islanders, the next food drive is August 11th at the Bethpage ShopRite on Hempstead Turnpike. Artificial intelligence is giving a Massapequa man a second chance at life. A 2020 diving accident left 45-year-old Keith Thomas paralyzed from the chest down. Months later, he entered a clinical trial at Feinstein Institutes for Medical Research. Microchips were implanted into Keith's brain, allowing AI to essentially reconnect his body and spinal cord. Now, 3 years later, Keith can move his arms and feel the touch of his loved ones.
The surgery was bigger than me. It was bigger than me trying to gain independence. It's the start of people regaining strength in their arms.
Just amazing. Well, providers at the clinic say Keith is the first person they're aware of who regained movement and the sense of touch after using this neuro bypass technology.
Keith coming home.
In your business news now, those working at the Port Jefferson DMV will have to hit the job market once again. The office is shuttering its doors next month. A woman who works at the Port Jefferson DMV says she found out the office was closing when News 12 reported it earlier this week.
We found out as employees last night before we even got the news that our office was being shut down. And when we came in this morning, we were all upset, crying, distraught, like, why all of a sudden are you shutting us down?
The Port Jeff DMV office is closing on August 25th. There are 4 other Suffolk offices you can visit. Those are in Medford, Hauppauge, Dix Hills, and Riverhead. We reached out to the state for comment. We are waiting to hear back from them. And happening today, Long Islanders are coming together to raise money for victims of domestic violence. And it's all in honor of Blue Point native Gabby Petito. The Gabby Petito Foundation will hold a fundraiser at the Yardline Sports Bar in West Babylon. The charity provides aid to organizations that help abused and missing people. This afternoon, there'll be live music, an auction, and bouncy houses. This afternoon, a Seaford High School alum will wrap up her Ride to Remember. Michelle Walsh-Myers has been riding her bike across New York for 3 days to honor the victims of 9/11. Saturday, she pedaled from Plain Edge Park all the way over to the Bronx in honor of late NYPD officer John Perry. For her final leg, Walsh-Myers will start in New York City and finish at Seaford High School. Following her arrival, there will be a reception and she will present a check from her to the Seaford High School 9/11 committee. Well, on the island, swimmers are facing dangerous conditions due to rip currents. Yesterday, lifeguards at Jones Beach, they were on high alert, watching out for signs of struggling swimmers. By midday, lifeguards had already made more than a dozen rescues from the water. Lifeguards say if you're ever caught in a rip current, try not to panic.
You should just stay calm, let it pull you, and swim parallel to the shore to get out of it.
Today there are moderate rip currents, and tomorrow that rip current risk is dropping to low. All right, time for another check of your hyperlocal weather forecast.
Yeah, as we were talking, a little bit less tempting to go in the water today, although some people are still managing. It's just not super hot outside. It's a beautiful day, though, to just hang out at the beach, go to the farmer's market in Port Jeff. It's packed, or just hang out in the backyard, have a barbecue, have dinner outside. I could list off pretty much every activity and you are good to go. It's just a stunning Sunday. Probably one of the best so far this summer. We have a little bit of cloud cover, but really low humidity. Temperatures close to 80 for Nassau County and western Suffolk. The rest of us stay in the 70s all afternoon. Tonight, a few 50s are possible toward the east end, particularly the Pine Barrens and the Hamptons will probably drop into the mid-50s there even. Mid-60s toward Nassau County, but that low humidity feels absolutely fantastic. We're back in the 80s on Monday. A little bit more humidity, maybe a pop-up shower, but there's not a lot of humidity to work with. We are not expecting thunderstorms, but dinner time into bedtime, you may see a quick shower on Monday. Today, nothing. Forget it. No worries about rain. You see that quick little blip of green. Again, really limited, but that is your best rain chance for probably the early part of the week at least. Tuesday's less humid, so really no worries there. Wednesday's just like today, a really comfortable day to kick off August. You know, it really is much of the same up until Friday. Friday, we do get back into some muggy territory, and we'll bring in that rain risk in the afternoon. Thursday, we could see some rain in the evening, so that's something you want to keep in mind. But it's not too often that you have several days in a row with little to no rain and very little humidity in the middle of summer. So all those projects you've been putting off because of a relentless on and off downpours, you can finally get that done before a rain chance comes back for our first weekend in August.
Well, kids and neighbors in Glen Cove got the chance to thank our first responders while keeping them refreshed in the hot weather. Project Thank a Cop hosted a summer lemonade stand. It strives to unify the community with its police officers and first responders with a day of cold lemonade and baked goods. We're told it's a chance to bring kids closer to first responders, reminding them that they're people they can trust.
And this is so important that they understand that police officers, first responders, law enforcement officers have first names, that they are people, that they can laugh, that they can talk to you, that they're not somebody to be afraid of, that they're somebody to respect and actually treat as people that they can look up to.
All proceeds from this weekend's event go directly back to Project Thank a Cop.
And a couple of weeks ago, I showed you how to grow watermelon plants from just a pack of seeds, and now those plants are huge and they're loaded with lots of fruit. That's why in this week's garden guide, I wanted to show you how to pick the sweetest watermelons. This year I wanted to try growing watermelon from seed, but here's the catch, put them in containers on my patio. And not only do I have watermelon, but I don't have a patio anymore, guys. I mean, look at all of these watermelon vines. Today I'm going to show you how to pick the best watermelon, whether it be on your patio like mine or at the grocery store. First, let's backtrack and talk about how these plants grow. Watermelons start producing flowers about a month after the seeds sprout, but you're not going to get that first female flower until 1 month after that. One of my favorite ways to tell if this fruit is ripe is by the sound test. It's also one of the most fun. If it's hollow sounding, this one's not quite there. If it's hollow sounding, that is how you can tell that this fruit is ripe and ready to go. This one, do you hear that? That one sounds more hollow. It's got a reverberation to it. So this one probably is ripe, but there are a few other tells too. Underneath it,
that creamy underside. You want it to be nice and creamy, and that color is an indication that it's getting ripe. When you're growing these in your yard, though, there is a sure tell way to tell if it's ripe, and that's the tendril. So the tendril is this little squiggly part of the vine that holds the plant together, and the tendril that's closest to that fruit, when it's ripe, the fruit, it'll turn totally brown. And because this tendril isn't ripe, this fruit can actually still get sweeter. And that's the reason why growing your own watermelon is always going to taste better, because you will know exactly when it's ripe based on that tendril. And it's just a fun word to say.
And for those of you who don't know, like, me and Antoinette have like a little plant exchange going on. Yeah, back in May, we, you know, exchanged some plants.
Yeah.
You gave me some plants, I gave you watermelon.
Yeah.
And look at them now. I love what you did with this because mine are crawling all over the place, but...
I know yours grow on
Right.
the patio on the ground. Ours we put in pots to grow up like on a trellis.
I love that
So,
idea.
yeah, it's actually really growing very well. Look at that.
Very well. Not actual sized, but
no,
it's
my
getting
hand.
big. It's getting big.
Yeah,
I'm
for
really,
sure.
really impressed. And
Thank you
went
for the
through-
seeds.
Well, you're very welcome. Thank you for the gorgeous cotton plants.
The
and
tomatillos.
Tomatillos. Oh my God, we're gonna have some good times.
We absolutely are. All right, we are hearing from the wife of the Gilgo Beach suspect for the first time, what she is begging from her community. And it's in memory of a Blue Point native, Gabby Petito, how community members are remembering her legacy and making efforts to stop domestic violence. You're watching News 12, where local matters.